COVID. Circa 2020. Everyone is stuck indoors, there's a pesky little virus infecting people. Quarantine. We're living in some sort of Plague Inc. simulator. What do we do to pass the time? Indulge ourselves in interests we maybe didn't have time for, and since we were all chronically online at the time, we expressed our newly found interests and participated in fandom activities. Speaking from experience, I got way more into fandom activities. I mean, look at me now. I was already into vocaloid because of animation memes and YouTube, but I never fully had the time or freedom to indulge myself in more vocaloid content and music until the quarantine hit. I've seen the early days of vocaloid and I've seen how the space has changed. The difference is, I'm not upset when it changes, because I know things always change. But some things just piss me off so bad I'm going to have a yap session about those things. Disclaimer, this is just a yap session, don't take it too seriously. Put down your pitchfork. Let's begin with Project Sekai, a rhythm game featuring the 6 main vocaloids and a bunch of other human characters. Calling them the 6 main vocaloids is probably going to piss off someone, but times change. No matter how long you've been a fan, you know these 6 exist at least. The game released globally December 7th, 2021 and became an instant hit. A lot of new Vocaloid fans started playing it, and a lot of old fans too. This became both a good thing and a bad thing. Newer fans didn't grasp what Vocaloid is, so they only knew the main 6 or confused the human characters with the Vocaloid. No, Emu Otori isn't a Vocaloid. And some older fans took that as a sign there are a lot of posers in the community, and now everything will be ruined. Weh! I get it, if you really care about something and new people ruin it, I'd be pretty mad too. But I at least have the mental capacity to understand that you're new and don't get everything instantly. Riddle me this. When you first become interested in something, do you take the time to teach yourself? B. Do not give a single flying fuck? C. Dig in your butt? Oh, that rhymed. The answer is obviously A. Unless you genuinely don't care about the interest and hope it dies. It seems like some older fans don't get that people might learn at their own pace. Some people learn about things slowly, and others get so obsessed it might actually ruin their life. Older fans also expect newer ones to know about every single Vocaloid ever made. If you claim Miku is your favorite, you can get jumped by 2 kinds of people. One of them is mad that your choice is basic, and the other one is mad that you don't like a Vocaloid named Grass Patch released during World War I by an Uzbekistani soldier. Basically some other obscure Vocaloid. Some more insignificant things that bother me with all of these pointless arguments is how some fans get genuinely mad when you call Teto, for example, a Vocaloid. Actually, she's a V-synth original. Yeah, but Vocaloid is an umbrella term now. No way someone is going to remember every form of voice synthesizer that exists out there. There are just so many of them. Here are just some few of them. Vocaloid, Synthv, Utao, Neutrino, Siren Voice, Voice Peak, Chevio, Voicona, and VoiceVox. And probably so many more I just haven't found. It's nice to know what software a vocal synth originates from, but it doesn't mean we can't call them Vocaloids. In the war between new gens and old gens, old fans have to stop hating on everything the new ones do, but newer ones should at least just educate themselves on the most basic stuff. Or not, it's their choice. Side tangent about Project Sekai. Because of the amount of new fans who haven't bothered to expand their tastes within Vocaloid beyond what's inside of Project Sekai, we get ridiculous comment sections like this. I don't want to be mean, but come on! Gomende Gomende by Kikuro is one of his most famous works, sitting on a comfortable amount of 34 million views on YouTube alone. Thank God they didn't say Ice Shit there, because that's one of the very few Vocaloid songs that have hit 100 million views. Also Magical Cure Love Shot? Are you unaware it literally won the Miku Expo Song Contest and then became one of the largest hits ever? The amount of trends and fan-made videos that came from that song alone is insane. Darling Dance by Kariki Bear is the second most viewed song on YouTube, only surpassed by Venom. Just because people don't talk about the song anymore because a certain time has passed doesn't mean it's underrated. Also, Circus Panic being the search is so funny. Yes, 32 Key made songs before Mesmerizer, thank you for noticing. Please, I'm begging, expand your taste beyond what's inside of Project Sekai. Yeah, the songs already in the game are good, they're in the game for a reason, but I promise you, there's so much more out there. Also, Side Tangent 2, still Project Sekai territory. Something I've noticed when talking with other Vocaloid fans is they absolutely despise Project Sekai for some reason. Going as far as saying it's not canon, no Mikus are canon from that game, it's just slop with Miku slapped on it. If you don't like the game for whatever reason, it's fine, but you can't really deny that the game has tremendously reshaped the Vocaloid fandom in both good and bad ways. Without Project Sekai, the commissioned songs for the game wouldn't exist, and that's a shame, because some of them are so good! A couple of ones that I can think of on the spot are M Purple by Harumaki Gohan, Bake no Hana by Nakiso, Fusion by Deco27, it's a collaboration song between the Project Sekai boys and Ensemble Stars, Blazing by Nikki, and so many more songs. Also, there's generally a lack of Vocaloid rhythm games for mobile. We had Miku Flake, but that went offline years ago, and not everyone has access to a good enough computer, a computer in general, or a console to even play Project Diva, which is the only other Vocaloid rhythm game out there. But I do wish there was a game centered only around Vocaloids, but I don't really mind Project Sekai. A game where the characters interact with Vocaloids and we get to see how they grow and change with Miku and the rest by their side, it's really inspiring actually, and I wish more people would actually see that. It's time to enter the heated topic territory. Expressing my opinion here can either reward me with "Wow, this person is so cool" award, or get me publicly executed with the Iron Bull, but a little side of Chinese water drip torture method, and maybe some bamboo shoots while I'm tied up just for good measure. The first really heated topic is Vocaloid ages and relationships, especially around Miku and certain song themes. We'll get more into depth about Vocaloid and sexualization later in the video, but we're strictly talking about ages, designs, and relationships. Some people claim Miku is 16, while others claim Miku is just a voice and her design can be whatever, and I personally fall into the latter group. Miku is a voice bank, so her design can be whatever the producer feels like. Let's take a look at a Miku design from the song Blue Planet by Deco27. This is obviously an old Miku, a grandma. Would you still call this a 16-year-old? It's still Miku after all. Here we have a different Miku, this time a figure. Does she look 16 here, or does she look somewhat way younger? It's still Miku after all. I can probably pull up several more examples of Miku being a whole range of ages, from birth to death, but my point is, Miku is just a voice. Sure, her main design can be 16, but it doesn't mean people are forbidden to make younger or older versions of the same character. The only place where this is a problem if the Miku is drawn obviously young, but is sexualized. That's where we get into the really bad territory. Again, we'll get into that later. Now, let's visit the relationship section. For this one, it's Rin and Len. Now, what's their relationship? Twins, siblings, mirror images. According to the Rin and Len Wikipedia page, here is what their relationship is. In short, they were originally developed as a set of twins, but released as just a pair, with their relationship status being unconfirmed or up to interpretation. So if you see them as twins, that's fine. Siblings? That's fine. Something else? That's fine. What isn't fine is that your personal interpretation develops into a hatred against someone else's interpretation. Fun fact, the only vocaloids who are confirmed siblings are Anon and Canon, being identical twins. Here we have John. John sees Rin and Len as siblings. This is John's interpretation. Here we have Bob. Bob sees Rin and Len as separate characters. That is Bob's interpretation. Bob posts an artwork of Rin and Len kissing. John sees said artwork. What should John do? A. Send death threats because they're siblings and incest is bad. Here John's interpretation takes over and John just doesn't think because he thinks he's right. B. Scroll and move on. John understands that Bob has a different interpretation and moves on. C. Block, scroll, and move on. John understands that Bob has a different interpretation, but John doesn't agree, so he blocks Bob and moves on. Answers revealed at the end of the video. The popularity of certain characters is also a heated, debated topic, which I just think is incredibly pointless. Currently, the favorite duo is Miku and Teto, partially due to Mesmerizer. People are mad Gumi and Miku, Miku and Rin, and Miku and someone else is getting forgotten and isn't used as much. Yoo-hoo! Newsflash! Trends change, nothing will stay the same forever. Maximalism used to be a really popular fashion and interior design trend, but it slowly got replaced with minimalism and everything plain. Same with memes. Eye of Ra was hella funny in January 2025, but it fell off and it isn't funny anymore. Or it is actually, but people just don't care about it anymore. Social media is so widespread and billions of people are online every day. Things move fast. Some trends die, some trends resurface, and new ones appear. Same logic can be applied to Vocaloid, and what kind of songs, song themes, and singers are used. If you're so mad at the Miku Teto duo, go create your own song using Gumi and Giggle Master 3000 or something. Anyways, here we get into the really extreme topic. If we just left the heated topic zone, we're about to enter the active war zone. It's important to not get mad now and try to understand every perspective and what's the right thing to do. Maybe the most controversial thing in the Vocaloid fandom is everything that has to do with sexualization, art, suggestive songs, designs, etc, etc. This is a screenshot I took of a video I found on Instagram, and it's what inspired me to even make this video. I'm not going to mention any names. If you do track down the OG video, don't be mean. This video claims that Mesmerizer ruined Vocaloid, and that's all? Ruined in what way? I commented saying that one video with a music video commissioned by one artist ruining a whole fandom is a brain-dead take. Maybe I was a bit too harsh, but I genuinely don't understand the hate. OP commented clarifying that the video was about the new fans who came into Vocaloid because of that video, and a lot of the new ones being creeps. Oh, we're talking about creeps now? Vocaloid sexualization in both songs and art and fandom behavior have existed for a while. And it's not just exclusive to Vocaloid. Ever heard about the internet's Rule 34? If it exists, there's porn of it. Vocaloid exists, there's going to be porn made of it. I searched up Miku on Rule 34 just to find when the first piece was uploaded on just that site. And there you have it. From 2010! Vocaloid sexualization has existed for over 15 years now. Mesmerizer definitely did not cause it. Sure, it caused more people to show up in the fandom, and of course, some of them are going to be lewd gooners. Now here's the thing you can do. There's a path in front of you. You can either go right being you just ignore the goons, if they get too annoying, just block them, or you can go left. Left being, you get angry and send angry comments towards the Gunners, in return exposing you to more content that you don't like, since people love rage baiting and provoking a reaction out of you. 101 in internet basics coming from me: don't interact with rage baiters. But sexualization isn't only an issue when it comes to art, it's also present in songs. Songs with adult themes are common, and here are just a few to name them. Ahega Glow by Masa Works Design, Sad Girl Sex by Deco27, Gimme X Gimme by Hajiyoshi P and Giga, Holy Lance Explosion by Red Lily, Brain Fluid Explosion Girl by Red Lily, Gigantic OTN by Giga, Plus Boy by Giga, and Rabbit Hole by Deco27. The last two have been under fire a lot. Rabbit Hole for having Miku as the singer, who is 16 and shouldn't be singing about the lack of a commitment to a relationship and likes to sleep around with people just for fun in a rabbit suit. And Plus Boy for using Len, who is 14 according to the fandom and should definitely not sing about his overwhelming puberty and hormonal urges. Granny Miku, would she fit to sing about something sexual? Sure. A young adult Miku, would she fit to sing about something sexual? Yeah. This child Miku, can she sing about something sexual? No. That's why the Mimukawa Miku design is pretty controversial. Not only does she look like a child here, there's also some peculiar shots in the music video where a child like Miku just doesn't look right. My point is it really that difficult to understand that vocaloids are just voices with the design plastered on for advertisement reasons? If Miku's voice bank never got the design and was never labeled as 16, we wouldn't have the Vocaloid fandom we have today. Back to songs. I have a little side tangent about Plus Boy. People are so angry about Len being 14, but have they ever met a real life 14-year-old? When I was 14, I hung around a lot of boys, so I know very well how they act, especially when they're 14. I'd say the song is a pretty accurate representation of puberty, well, at least for 14-year-old boys. The amount of jerking off action and jokes they did, the talks about the hottest same-age girls and movie actors, and the amount of cum and sex jokes was insane. I don't understand why we have to argue. Someone headcanons something differently than you, and suddenly all hell breaks loose. Especially for characters who were voiced by adults. Saki Fujita, when she provided her voice for Miku, was around 23 years old. That is an adult. Asami Shimada, who was the voice provider for both Rin and Len, was around 21 years old. Also an adult! But do you know where things get wrong and no amount of age up can save yourself? When a voice bank is voiced by an actual 9-year-old and the design is clearly that of a child, which is why we have Kawayuki here. In her case, no aging up can make sexual songs or designs okay. Which is why the song Zako by Hiragi Magnetite was bombed to deletion when it first came out. The song is suggestive, both being able to be interpreted as a student making fun of her crush, acting all tsundere, or just making fun of a small dick. The song originally came out using Kawayuki, which is wrong. Her own terms of service forbid using the voice bank for sexual or suggestive songs, so Zaku getting hate was justified. I feel like this comment from Reddit sums up pretty well a lot of the drama related to songs. Krypton's Vocaloids have an age for the sake of marketing. Age them up however you want, or make them younger for whatever reason you might have. As long as it's not for actual pedophilia content or lollybait, then do whatever. The same can be applied to fan artists too. Back to Mesmerizer, people are hella mad at it too, because the video was made by an artist and animator named Channel Castation, or just Channel for short. Zako was also animated by the same person, simply because he has made some suggestive fan art before and worked on commissions. Thinking about Zako here, he was hated into oblivion and now is pretty much inactive on all socials with a lot of artwork being deleted. Here's one artwork I found, clearly suggestive but nothing actually too explicit. This shows a funny height difference, but I don't have to explain the entire ordeal of what's happening in the artwork. The thing people would react to is the lower angle looking up at Miku and maybe her more curvier body shape. Doesn't show panties, and the only truly suggestive thing is a millimeter of butt showing. But this would get hated into oblivion because it's Miku and she's 16. Let's put on our thinking caps real quick. How old does she look in the fan art? 10? 15? 16? Above 18? I'd personally say she's at least 18 or above, simply by looking at her proportions and how she is drawn. Sure, a 16-year-old can have the same build as Miku here, but at least for me, this entire artwork just strikes as 18 or above. There probably exists way more incriminating evidence, and maybe even genuine Rule 34, but that's not where I'm heading. This is just to illustrate one artwork. I'm not going around analyzing every single piece of art channel has posted and then try to talk about it in a neutral-ish way. Again, everything is up to interpretation. Ages, relationships, meaning behind songs, and so on and so on. I don't support pedophilia or artwork of clearly underage characters in clearly sexual situations. I get fighting and arguing when things are obviously wrong, like what happened with Zako, but I don't understand the pointless fighting when it comes to Rabbit Hole, for example. But no matter the situation, I take time to assess the situation and think, what is my opinion? How do I interpret the character, their relationship, the fan art on this situation? I personally see Miku as just a voice. If I listen to Blue Planet and watch the music video, Miku is an 18-year-old grandma then and there. Rin and Len are just characters. While I don't entirely agree with the couple interpretation, I don't go out of my way to hate on everyone who sees them as a couple. Miku and Kaito are just characters, but I like to see them as grown adults, probably middle-aged and married. Of course, these are all my headcanons and how I interpret the characters, but some people really need to make up their own opinion and not echo the same statement like a parrot who's been forced to listen to a broken record on loop for 3 weeks. If there's something that really bothers me, or I see as wrong according to my personal view, I simply just don't interact at all, or I scroll past the video, or block the creator, and move on with my day. By the way, remember John? Yeah, the answers are B and C. Please be like John. And that's all I had for this long rant video. I had a lot of thoughts that I just spewed out, and hopefully my point comes across clearly. I don't want to be labeled a pedophile. That doesn't seem fun. Anyways, have a nice day, and I guess subscribe to stay tuned for whatever next this loot box pulls out.